This is the Noreen Firearms BN36 in 300 Win Mag. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, thanks for watching Peace, Love, and Guns. My name is Will, and this is of course the Noreen Firearms BN36 Assassin 300 Win Mag AR-10 style of rifle. Picking this thing up, the first thing that I notice is how light it feels. I don't know what the weight spec is. We'll probably annotate it down below. However, for a barrel that is this long, we'll annotate it if it's wrong. For a 26-inch long barrel with a muzzle brake on top of that, an optic mounted, and a big old beefy upper and lower receiver set, this thing feels really light, surprisingly light. This is a gas impingement style gun, so whereas a piston gun would have a little bit more mass up front, maybe that's how they're shaving some of that weight. The barrel is a fluted affair, so perhaps that saves a little bit.
All the way into the receiver even.
Yep, you can kind of see down in the cracks there, it's fluted all the way through. It's a what appears to be a uniform profile barrel. It stays that profile the whole way through. It's got a nice little kind of shark gill looking muzzle brake on there. So it has a 16-inch long gas system on it. As we said a minute ago, it is gas impingement. It's a side charger, which is kind of cool too.
Do you side charge, bro?
Do you side charge, bro? One thing that we did notice, it's maybe a finer point just to jump off with right here since we're talking about it. In order to pull the bolt out, you have to remove this charging handle, and rather than some other kind of systems that have a little bit more perhaps finesse in their design, like the Scar, where you can pull this back to a given point and then this will pull out, this requires a tool, and it's actually an Allen key or a hex wrench to get that bolt out of there, or to get the charging handle off the bolt carrier group. First of all, hex keys kind of suck, and then not being able to remove that in a toolless fashion, that kind of sucks too. But I'm really excited to shoot this rifle because it feels really good. It feels really light for what it is, and it's just a very clean, beautiful looking rifle in 300 Win Mag, and I think this is a 1,000-yard gun all day. We're going to be shooting it a little bit closer, just sighting it in, and we do want to thank the generous donor that has lent this to us for the afternoon. We thank you as always, and thank you for watching. So the stock on it is kind of in the vein of like the Magpul PRS and other long-range stocks where you have adjustable cheek weld, length of pull. This to me, this is the length of pull all the way in, the shortest it can go. To me it feels just a little bit long, but you know, it works. The cheek weld currently gets me down right about where I need to be for the scope, and it feels pretty good, looks sharp, and it is polymer, and it probably maybe helps contribute to its lightweight, but it feels good. It's got the little spot back here so you can kind of rest your hand if you're bench shooting, and yeah. The magazine is a proprietary magazine. I'm not crazy about this just by looking at it. Just this kind of two-piece clamshell affair. When you make when you design something, doing something like this where you're looking at folded steel or injection molded plastic, folded steel with like spot welds and things like that, that takes a lot of engineering. So this kind of clamshell design is probably a cost-saving thing, and I feel like if this gun was super popular and picked up, I feel like this would be the first thing I would redesign, because this, I mean, this just screams, hey, this is, you know, proprietary to me. And it might not be an issue at all, but from the look of it, this kind of two-piece clamshell, it feels like it was a corner cut in designing it. It's more like a factory-made magazine, you know. This looks like a prototype is kind of what it feels like to me. Whereas, you know, you could get a put a little bit more engineering time into it and have a magazine that is polymer and, you know, kind of a PMAG style, or something that looks and feels kind of like the GI style mags, it's a finer complaint. It's a minor nitpick on that. Standard AR-15 control set. This is not an ambidextrous setup rifle. You get fire and safe, not on the other side. It does have the standard bolt hold open / bolt catch. So standard battery of arms applies, where you would charge the weapon, locking it back, and then when it locks back on a final shot, you can put a new magazine in and slap it home with the ping pong paddle there. It's got plenty of real estate on here. And yeah, this is a key mod handguard, not to be confused with HK's proprietary H key or the Magpul M-Lock. It is key mod. So if you are into key mod or you like this look, there you go. You have that. This is currently set up with some key mod Picatinny rails for a little bit of extra attachment stuff. So the scope that's currently outfitted on this is a 8.5 to 25 power loopholed Mark IV with a 50mm objective, and that seems like it's pretty appropriate. The bolt carrier group also has a very nice fluting cut into it, probably more for
aesthetics.
Magpul MOE grip here. This is the configurable one where you can change out the little front piece right there to have or to not have the bump, and change a variety of backstrap options for it. And it has the little door to hold doodads and thingamajigs for all your doodad and thingamajig holding needs.
It's a rattle trap.
Yeah, you can put some bullets in there, 9mm bullets, and then jingle around. Yeah, woo! And just from testing this out, the trigger feels pretty good. It is a single stage trigger, and for a stock trigger, this is definitely not the worst we've seen. In fact, I would say it's probably among the better triggers for a DMR platform out of the box that we've seen. Would you agree?
Well, some companies like to send Geisleys with their DMRs.
Yeah, SIG.
And others put absolute garbage, mil-spec, bolt proprietary stuff in their things.
We won't name names. HK. Sorry, that was just a... And I'm getting HK fanboys all the time telling us that we're stupid because that trigger was garbage, and that trigger was garbage.
I've shot machine guns that have bigger
Yeah.
And machine guns have big, heavy triggers.
But let's not turn this into a poo-poo on HK Fest.
Again, every video.
Yeah. So let's shoot it. I don't like that Bye.
No. I wonder if it's dry, because I didn't put any oil in it.
Put some oil in it.
It's hot. It's hot. Interesting. You have to actually charge it. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, I got 4 boxes, huh?
I guess we know where the marks on the receiver came from now.
Yeah, a little bit.
The front of that receiver's got some chew-up marks on it.
I need to go grab some oil. Pretty bad. Hey, before we start talking, I'm gonna go get some oil.
No talking. It's just a data point. This thing does not like to be dry.
Oil, oil, putting in the oil. Remember, kids, you can't put too much oil.
All right, she's wet now.
Hornady American Whitetail. It's got all the specs right, Shaw. What is that, 180 grain? We also have with us today the Federal VitaShock. What is that, 165 grain? And Precision Hunter 178 grain. Do you use side charge, bro? That's probably my favorite thing about this gun.
For good luck, right?
On an unknown scope, I tend to do it sometimes. I pulled that one. Okay, I can honestly say it's hard for me to shoot this one, Will, because it's got such a big boom. It's hard to stay. You know what I'm saying?
So, like, it's disturbing you too much,
Yeah.
the recoil or the concussion?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, that muzzle brake is definitely sending a lot of concussion back toward the shooter.
Plus,
How
I'm
was
not-
the recoil?
I'm not particularly with it today, so
Yeah.
it's not awful. I'm flinching a lot today.
Well, if
just
it's throwing the concussion back our direction, it should be mitigating a lot of the recoil.
'cause it is. It's
as
not
much
bad.
concussion as we're feeling.
I'm just not with it today. Maybe you can shoot better than I can today.
Okay. What do you think?
I think you should use it how it must be set. Don't look at my alpha group too much. I am not with it today.
Well, magazine goes in and locks pretty easily. Can't complain too much about that.
You clearly don't side charge. I'm really not stoked about that trigger. Oh, it's not that bad. It's not comfortable, but it's not awful. You're not seated all the way. Just let it go. Weird.
That one went in. Yeah, that was weird. We'll have to see what.
We'll have to look in the slow-mo.
Yeah, on the slow-mo.
We assume it loaded. That one looked like it surprised you.
Surprised you. I saw your face.
What do you think about the recoil?
I mean, it's about. It's very mild. I think you are feeling more the blast and kind of being startled by that or whatever. My groups are not great. I haven't looked at your groups, but I can just see the reticle jumping all around. Hornady Precision Hunter. Yeah, that last shot sucked. I'm gonna shoot one more.
Much better though, right?
It's much more comfortable. And that's a lot. There's a lot to be said for that. I like that side charge, boy.
So shitty that gun's so expensive when it does that.
Shitty, the gun does what?
That.
What?
That.
What is it doing?
That.
What are you talking about?
That.
Oh. Oh, and that's like, that was wedged.
Yeah, on the other round. Just send it forward. I feel like it ejects like a limp.
Yeah, it doesn't even eject at all. It just flops out. I was watching it too.
I think the ejector needs to be...
Or the extractor?
Or the ejector. The extractor's working because it's pulling it out, but the
Right.
ejector's not ejecting it. But what do you think about the gun?
I like it. I feel like if I was hitting what I was aiming at a little bit better, I feel like I'd be having more fun with it.
Is it the gun or is it...
I think it's more me shooting. I mean, it's not a difficult gun to shoot.
Yeah.
I'm getting about an MOA of accuracy right now. But I'm trying, and that makes me sad. I put my big boy try-hard pants on. So we'll see what these last... Did I do 3 or 2?
3.
See what these last 3 do here.
Yeah, that's what I want.
So I rather like the charging handle because you can stay on, and I'm observing the target, and I can let it go.
Not
So I
like
rather like that. Here, you want some eye protection, kid?
I don't think I can wear it. Huh. My shoulder's not on it.
And we did lube this up.
Oh my god.
And it likes to do this where it hard jams it on the next one. Alright, you just created a double feed. Hold it back, press the magazine release.
I didn't know one was already in there.
Rip.
Look, man.
Oh yeah, that's the Brazer's DP going on there.
You got to use your eyeballs.
I didn't think that it went in after that didn't eject right.
No shit, we hire a guy. You got the jam again. Drop the mag. Go ahead and get that out of there. This gun, look at this. So it hasn't even finished extracting. It's pushing another one in, and this case is jammed on top of the one that's getting fed in.
That thing has a lot of recoil. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But yeah.
Well, it's not a ton of recoil for a 300, but it's not... I'm not in love with the recoil on it.
Yeah, it's...
Okay, so that's the BN36 Assassin in 300 Win Mag by Noreen Firearms. And I have to say that I really like the form factor, but I'm a little underwhelmed at what's going on with the action. It could just be dirty, extractor failing or something, but seeing those double feeds is never super exciting. And I'm getting about an MOA downrange with a shaky table situation. And, you know, it's a little chilly out here, and I'm not a great shot. So, I mean, there's all of those things playing into it. And check out these awesome sunglasses. Got to make sure you wear your eye protection, especially when you just paid for LASIK. I mean, $3,600 investment, you know. You want those to be working for you. Not too crazy about this magazine. That's just my 2 cents. It's weird. It's this clamshell design. But ergonomically, I think the gun is pretty cool. And assuming that we found a load that it likes and had a stable shooting platform, I imagine you could get sub MOA with this. But what I'm seeing is around an MOA, maybe an MOA and a quarter or something like that downrange. But yeah, make sure to comment. We like to have discussions with people in our comment section. We're alone, so very lonely. And, you know, make sure to subscribe. We have all kinds of fun content on the channel, and you don't want to miss it. So, thanks for watching, and have a good night.